We are going to discuss the Walmart indicator. What is that? Is it good news that their earnings are great and people are shopping there? Or is it bad because people are trading down? The higher end consumer is going to Walmart now. We'll discuss the price action in that. Also, if you put lipstick on a dog, is it still a dog? Well, if it's Warren Buffett's dog, it's a whole different story. We'll talk about Ulta. Bunch of earnings, bunch of movers, numbers at 8:30. Ivan Feinseth at 8:35. We got to get the show started. It's pre-market prep.
Welcome to Benzinga's pre-market prep.
This is a volatile puppy here.
It's all about execution styles and strategies.
All right, team, we're in the green. 12 and a quarter handles, 54.89 a quarter, just off that pre-market high, following through on that strong close. The buck flat, 102.40, pair of highs right in the same area. You can see in the upper right chart. TLT flat, 97.90, waiting for those major interest rate cuts. Crude backs off 80, rebounding up 80 cents, 77.78. Gold over 2,500, but not breaking out yet. 2140, that 2501.10. Silver, I like silver. That's up a stick here, 2838. Bitcoin down marginally here. The futures are down $130 at 58,920. Let's bring in Dennis. I guess we could say we had a wacky Wednesday after the close, and man, a Thursday morning. We have so many movers here at Triple D. What's going on?
Yeah, and we've got mixed markets here once again with the IWM trading slightly lower, and the song remains the same. The title of the show, the title of this market, because the tech leaders are the ones that are leading. Yesterday, again, the song remains the same. You got the chips leading the way, and then you got the IWM lagging once again. So despite CPI being lower and IWM ripping the pre-market up to 210, it leaks back.
Ooh.
So this market is just not interested in anything unless it has a story. The Walmart story obviously is hot still. We may as well start there, AB. I mean,
where is AB?
He's right there. He's right there.
Who brought
He's in
me
the background. He's always multitasking. This guy's the multitasking
I know.
master.
Dennis, I said the same thing to him on the pre-market show. I'm like, how many different things you do? He needs an assistant.
I have a second show going on at the same time as this, actually. So I need to go off the screen. I'm live streaming under a different alias. You'll never know.
He probably is. This guy, I tell you, man, is the multitask master. I'm the multitask disaster. I can't multitask anything. Like if I'm doing the show and somebody's talking to me over here, I don't even hear what they're saying. I'm like so zoned in. I'm like the zone trader. I'm like, if I'm trading, somebody's talking to me, I'm like, I don't even notice anybody's talking. This guy is the opposite. He's doing 10 things at once. He's writing for Benzinga. He's over here. He's over there. He's everywhere. And now
cleaning the office, making coffee. You know what? If Raz is listening, Raz, get AB an assistant.
He does. He needs an assistant.
I'll take Raz. Raz is my assistant. That would be good. He'd be a good team. Before we get started into the stocks thing, I have a little thing. I don't know. I have trouble believing this really, but yesterday, so there's this little, bar near the office that me and a couple of guys from the office will go for happy hour sometimes here and there. And apparently one of the bartenders at the restaurant or at the bar came across pre-market prep on her YouTube and was like, oh my God, that's Aaron. And so she was showing on her phone the show, and she was like, you popped up on my YouTube. And at first when she said it, I thought she was talking about, maybe one of our little shorts or like, TikToks that we do. Okay, one of the 60-second videos popped up on her feed. That's not that crazy. But it was the pre-market prep show. I was like, what are you doing watching, stock market content on YouTube that early in the morning? And it was funny though, because she was joking around with me for the rest of it. She was like, I didn't realize that.
Cool. Was she, well, no, I'm not going to ask that. Did she, so she knew you from the show, right?
She knew me
What-
from going into the bar, but then she saw the show like yesterday. And then, yesterday afternoon when we were there for happy hour, she was like, messing with me. She was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were a celebrity. Like, should I get
What's
your
the name of the
autograph?"
bar? What's the name of the bar?
Grand
wants to go
Trunk.
there.
Grand
Oh,
Trunk.
that's been around forever. So I was noticed at a wedding. AB, you were noticed at a bar, and
I've never been noticed.
Dennis never leaves his house.
No, well, that's true too. There's a good point, actually. It's hard to get noticed when you don't leave your house. So maybe if I left my house, I'd be like, "Oh, they'd be following us. We need autographs." I don't think that would happen.
All right.
Wait, one more thing. Do most of the people have internet in Midland, Ontario?
I don't know. My internet's sketchy sometimes. You've seen that already on this show live here. So this is the worst tangent ever. We've decided that AB and Joel are both celebrities. Nobody likes me. And now I'm all depressed. Thank you very much.
On a day with a lot of news headlines too. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have a lot of things we could start with. Let's go ahead and Joel, since you started the intro with Walmart, let's go ahead and start there. Walmart reported earnings this morning. EPS came in at 67 cents, beat the 64-cent estimate. Sales, I mean, this is a crazy number for one quarter. One quarter of sales, $169.3 billion. Beat the 168.56 billion. Let's see. They raised some guidance, issued a confident outlook, updates the fiscal year 2025 guidance, and the stock is responding well, trading up about $4.50. Joel, are we at all-time highs?
Oh, we are above all-time highs, and after my Starbucks, early call of a high, a few days ago, I'm not going to say anything. Pre-market high, $74, 74 right on the kisser. So I don't think it's going to open over 73. Dennis is going to I don't know, man. This is a tough one. Up $4.50.
Is it new all-time highs?
Dennis, the former all-time high was 71.33.
I never short a stock making new all-time highs. I never chase and I never short stocks making new all-time highs. You know what that means for me with those two golden rules, and those are two golden rules that I use. Don't chase and don't short stocks making new all-time highs. There's no possibility for me to make a trade on this thing, because it's all, I can't chase it, but I can't short it. So I can't do anything on it. So all I can do is watch and wish I was long.
Target's moving off this too.
The song remains the same. The hot get hotter, the cold get colder, which probably brings us to Alibaba after this. But is there going to be a sympathy move with Target? Yes, there is. TGT trading up 3.49%. That's a pretty big sympathy move for TGT. Didn't TGT already report? No, they haven't yet. When's TGT?
No, it's early.
When do they do? Target.
Target comes in on Wednesday, August 21st before market opens. So
next week
from yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, so they're coming in next week. So they're getting all antsy in their pantsy now for the Target earnings here. This is a big pop for TGT too. TGT has been the laggard. We know of all of them. TGT has been the biggest laggard here. Been running down. Now it's trying to come back up here. I mean, it's hard to do technicals on Walmart because it's new all-time highs, but you can do technicals on Target, Joel. What are your thoughts on that one?
Let's go. We got a pop trading at the highs of the pre-market session, 140.76. I mean, this really hasn't rebounded off the low.
No.
This really hasn't rebounded off the low. So this might have some room.
Group.
Yeah.
Wow. Yippee-yo, yippee-yay.
I'd like to see it 137. That's the top of yesterday's range. I mean, pick your poison here. I mean, maybe you get lifted at 145.42, but I don't think it's going to go up 10 sticks on this. But who knows? I mean, this thing has not rebounded. It's beat up, and now people are caught. I don't know why you would go be short Target, no matter what your position is, your average cost in the Walmart earnings, because you could have a good sympathy move there. But
you just have to understand your sympathy moves. If the stock has already reported, the sympathy move is very muted. If the stock is reporting in 5 days, this is the biggest sympathy move you can get because everybody's like, this is a glimpse into next week's Target earnings. And if Walmart's killing it, Target's bound to kill it too. But one thing to remember is that Target now has a higher bar because of Walmart. So enjoy your run up today, but the bar does go up a little bit. And remember, that the song remains the same, and Target is still the hated of the group.
Look at Kohl's. Look at Kohl's.
Those are all hated, Joel.
Oh my Lord!
Macy's,
I'll buy that. I'll buy it for $70.
Nordstrom.
I'll buy
What
it for
stock?
70. Kohl's, $70.
Oh, I know, $65 was going to be the takeout price, and then it was 60, and then it was gone. And then it was Denny's portfolio got whacked on it because I was in it because I thought there was going to be a deal, and there was no deal. Now I'm stuck with Kohl's, but obviously I took my losses on Kohl's last year. Sometimes he's got to take the money and take the loss and move on, and that's the thing to do here. But what about Macy's?
You read my mind.
Is Macy's going to get? They were talking the buyout. Now the buyout's off the table. The real estate's worth so much money. It was a no-brainer at 20 and 21. While it was a no-brainer for the shorts because the stock is now back down at $16 with no deal on the table here.
Oh, is
that
this
commercial
the no
real
deal
estate
day
is worth a hell of a lot less than everybody wants to value it at because we know big mall retailers aren't doing that great. So I don't know.
I saw an article.
Again, I don't own either of these stocks. I'm glad. I actually was in Macy's a couple of times and got out of that profitable all times. But Kohl's was a tough one.
How do you go into a Macy's and come out profitable? Were you stealing some shirt?
That supposed to happen when I was gone. Well, one of my vacations here.
Which one?
The deal being off the table?
Well, there's been a lot of those days, Joel. So
it was deal on, deal off, deal on, deal off. I can't even keep track of it.
I just thought the official someone wasn't going to pay 22. I don't know if I remember that. What do we want to stay on the earnings hit parade go?
Let's stay with the earnings. We'll go to Bob. The last thing I was going to say real quick about the Macy's, I read an article the other day. I forget where it was, maybe CNBC or somewhere, that said that some malls are looking at converting like old department stores that have closed and building apartments in there. And then I was like, that's silly. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, if they need a guinea pig, I would try it out. I mean, look, like you have a food court nearby. I would never go hungry. There's with a lot of people around. If you just want to, wake out of bed and then, go into the mall and hang around. So we'll see if that ends up happening. I thought that was interesting. But going to Baba's earnings here, you had EPS. EPS came in at $2.26. That beat the $2.13 estimate. Sales came in at $33.47 billion, missed the $34.81 billion. Let's see. I'm trying to find the revenue missed expectations there. It looks like I'm not seeing anything in terms of guidance here. But either way, the report was not great for Baba. Closed down 2% yesterday, trading down another 4% this morning. So it went from basically $80 yesterday at the close to now we're looking at $76.30.
They hate this stock. It's the most hated stock because the valuation is just ridiculously low, and they hate it. And you know what? This has been a terrible earnings season for my long-term portfolio. I'm going to tell you that much because I was at all-time highs 2 weeks ago, I think, on my portfolio. And then the Intel debacle happened, and the SMCI debacle happened, and now a Baba debacle happens, and it's like, holy crap! I got to start dumping my portfolio before earnings season because this earnings season has sucked. I've had 3 or 4 major hits off earnings. I don't know what to say. They hate the stock. AB, every time it comes back up to 80, it's just another selling opportunity. I didn't take advantage of it, and I should have. I was made whole. When you get made whole in Baba, you get the hell out because it just goes down lower eventually. If you hold on,
wait, you're
Baba
out,
long enough,
Dennis?
it goes down. I'm still in. I didn't sell. Good. Are you still in?
Yeah, we gotta.
We're in the long term. We're in it for the long term. You know what? 5 to 10 year time horizon, you think you'll be okay. But if you go back and look at the charts, if you had a 5 to 10 year time horizon 10 years ago on Alibaba, you didn't make money either. So I don't know what the hell we're doing in this thing. I got talked to Dan Nathan talked me into this one. This was his. He did. He wanted NVIDIA and buy Baba. This was his pick at the beginning of the year, I think. I think it was in his acronym. I put NVIDIA in my acronym. I'm glad I didn't put Baba, but I bought Baba recently. You know that. I bought it. I don't know. I think it was like May or something. $81. Now it's 76. I hate this stock. I should just sell it. Get rid of it.
They hate it. It's off the pre-market low. I'll just give you that pre-market low, 75.48. But if you're, I mean, this is just in no man's land. I mean, there were buyers under 75 for most of a couple times in July. So people have been hogging the 75. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's going to get down there today. It may, but right now, jagged support at 75. Top of yesterday's range, not too far away if you're looking to sneak out 78.07. So there's a look at Baba. I saw JD was trading up, more. That had a decent report. That if you caught that
Yeah,
going
do
through
the
20s,
JD numbers.
I'll
Give
go
us the
JD.
JD numbers.
Okay,
Or do the
JD.com.
technicals. AB's hunting it down.
AB sleeping again.
He's multitasking
Okay,
again.
Okay, I got the numbers. I got the
Multitasking.
numbers right here. We had EPS
Oh, yeah,
come
pretty good.
in at $1.29, beat the 83-cent estimate. Sales came in at 40.1 billion, missed the 40.83 billion. So you had the EPS beat, but then revenue missed expectations. Record profit for Q2 though. Record high net profit.
I mean, they make big bucks. All these Chinese companies make a lot of money as long as you believe the numbers. Again, there's not gap accounting over there, so I'm not even sure if you can believe the numbers, but probably can. I mean, $1.29 versus 83 is a huge beat. Sales in those salesmen, but the Baba was a beat on the bottom line too. I mean, all these things trade 7-8 times earnings. They all hate them because it's geopolitical risk. They don't know when the invasion's coming, so they just don't like these stocks. That's the bottom line. If these companies were in the U.S., JD and Baba, they'd be twice the price that they currently are, and Baidu as well.
I think more than that. I think Baba would be back at 250.
Yeah, if they were U.S. companies, I'll say it. They were. We've said this before. They're U.S. companies. Baidu, Baba, JD, even Pinduoduo. All these stocks are significantly higher, but they're not. The China companies. They don't know when the government's going to implode them. They don't know when the Taiwan invasion is going to come. They don't know any of those things. So these things, every time they rally, they're just another selling opportunity. And I'm starting to just think you just can't invest in China again. I thought for a while we had a window. Well, that window has just cost me money. So I wish I would have stuck with what I said. I said on the show for years, I never invested in a China stock for years. And I wish I would have stayed away because I'm in Baidu and I'm in Baba and they both suck.
Okay. For the JD, I mean, it had the pop, but now the drop. I'd rather see it come down to this lower 26 handle to maybe try a long. You had 3 highs in that area. As far as a pre-market high, you're 60 cents off that, 27.50. Not much on the dailies at that level. So support easier to identify than resistance in JD.
All right, let's talk some Nike here. Nike is one of the stocks that's been a dog of all dogs the past few months here. We got some news yesterday that gave us a pop after hours. That is that Bill Ackman and Pershing Square Capital took a stake in Nike. Let me get the exact numbers there from Ackman. Or unless, Dennis, do you know it off the top of your head how much his stake was worth?
I think about 3 million shares, if I'm not mistaken. So a decent sized stake. And we actually talked about this. We brought up the potential for activist action in a number of stocks. I mentioned 3 yesterday. If I'm looking at my show notes, I mentioned Nike, Lululemon, and Intel, as possibilities for activist action. Unbelievably, the next day we get activist action. And I don't know if it's an activist position, but Ackman's definitely still an activist. So we don't know what he's going to do with it. We get, the disclosure in the 13Fs that Ackman has actually taken a position in Nike, and we get the Nike pop. So that was a good call by us on NKE that, we're running into activist season, and bang, we get one. I think Lululemon, Intel's just a dog of all dogs. I don't know if they can figure anything. I'm not even sure the activists are interested in that. But Lululemon sets up for activist action here too. And I would not be surprised. It's gotten to a point where valuation's starting to get attractive as well. It's got the brand. And what you have is activists come in when they feel like they can turn a company around. Well, the Lululemon brand they've built for years. And now it's come down, and they're saying, obviously competition. Is the brand still the brand? I think, digressing here, but I think Lululemon could be, pull a Nike here too and get an activist in there as well. But, we 1 for 3 so far in one day. That's pretty good. That's pretty good on Nike.
Yeah, that's a big pop. That's a big Ackman pop there. Whew, man. How hard to identify resistance when there is no resistance. I will give you the pre-market high. That comes in at 82.80. So there's a target. That's a buck for you. Nothing in here. If you could find a number between that and 93.39, then you are better at technical analysis than me. Coming back on the downside here, if you want to get in, the top of yesterday's range, 79 bucks. Don't know if you're going to see that either. But now you're gapping in to a gap area. So technicals are kind of out the door. How's Ackman been doing? Has he been doing okay? I know he canceled his IPO.
Well, I think one of his biggest
his SPAC.
Yeah, canceled that. Obviously, about a year ago, took a big loss on Netflix. That if he would have held on to that, would have made a lot of money. But he took like about, I think, like a $200 million loss on Netflix. But his top holdings now. I'm just going off the top of my head. I know are Chipotle, Hilton, and there's another. What's the one restaurant stock? It's like QRS or
Mondelez.
QSR.
Yeah.
QSR, Chipotle, Hilton, and there's like one more. Oh, Google. He's huge in Google.
You know what? He's more interested in politics.
He is.
Recently, yeah. His Twitter, he thinks he's like the, everything he posts on Twitter. I don't know.
True.
But yeah, so Bill Ackman,
he used to be the hardcore activist, and he just does a little bit of investing now, but he doesn't get on there trying to get the board seats and stuff anymore. The guy's got bigger fish to fry. He's trying to change the world here now. So I don't think he's going to come on there and try to oust the board. I don't think this is going to end up being an activist position for him, even though you never know. But obviously he sees value here, and Ackman's got a name, so stock's going to pop.
Well, let's talk about an investor that bought a stake who's definitely not an activist investor, probably not going to come in and try to make any big changes. But Warren got into Ulta Beauty. So, Dennis, we were just talking about Ulta versus Elf the other day, and I was like, I want to buy the dip on Elf. And you were like, why not Ulta? Ulta's the leader. Elf is the dog. If you want to buy one of them, buy the best of breed. And maybe Warren was listening because he was like, yeah, you know what? Aaron is right. He listens
to the show.
Warren was like, AB is right. That kid makes some good points. And he's like, Dennis is also right that if I'm going to buy the dip on the space, I got to go with Ulta and not Elf. And that's exactly what Warren did. He bought a big stake in Ulta Beauty. Let's see. I had the numbers up exactly.
It's an initial stake for him. They're all big when you're Warren Buffett, but it's basically a small position for him, but big for anyone else in the world. He'll find that number. I mean, when you got stock that's completely in the gutter like Ulta and it gets Warren Buffett giving it the vote of confidence, there is absolutely no doubt it's going to get a significant pop. I tried to buy this last night on the headline at 350. I got shut out. So I was willing to pay up $20 for this thing right away.
Wow.
And it went, Joel, like 365, like instantaneously. And then it pulled in a bit. And I was like, come on, give me 350. Give me 350. And I was like 350 and change and trying to get in there, and I couldn't get it.
What was what was the offer when you put it in?
Oh, it was wide, Joel. It was like they were just bouncing around, but it came back in. Somebody did offer 355. I don't think I saw an offer lower than 355 after the information was out there. I should have just went and lifted the 355. But I think it traded a little bit at 350. But remember, in this bloody market, you can't ever get done on the bid because you got Citadel that just monopolizes the bid, so they'll just buy it on everybody. You put a bid out there, 10 people could try to sell it to you, but Citadel jump in front of you, so you're not gonna get it. So anyways, I did not get Ulta, but I was actually, I'd say I don't chase. I was trying to somewhat chase Ulta last night because I know the Buffett effect. You can see it actually in the candle. You see the big pop initially, and then you see where it went down to. It's like right in there. Yeah, you see it. That's where I was trying to pick it up. Was right in there, and I was sitting at 350. Come on to Papa, and it just did not happen.
Dennis, they don't hit bids when the stock's going up.
No, well, they do.
And they don't lift offers.
So I disagree. That stock was coming in at that point in time. So you get the initial profit takers, algos, saying, yeah, we got to take the profits and run here. So it came in a little bit, came from 365 to 355. So I'm like, come on, a little bit more. And it was all, this is a matter of like 30 seconds, like fast. Didn't get it.
Tony D wants to say thinks maybe you could get it pre-market, but you're not interested in 355 right now, right? That's gone. That trade, thought, that idea, that's so gone.
So information arbitrage, which is what I try to do to a certain extent, not HFT has monopolized, the initial print, but then afterwards you can say there's going to be follow through here. One, at this point in time, they hadn't even mentioned it on CNBC yet. So it's going to get the CNBC
give away that
pop.
indicator.
Because CNBC is 5 minutes after everybody else. So, and it's going to get the CNBC pop after. So they hadn't even mentioned that yet. So that's obviously mentioned. Everybody in the whole world knows it now. So, I mean, now this, like, oh, yeah, well, Ulta, nobody else realizes. No, everybody knows it. A minute after the print, 99% of the population doesn't realize it, like yet. So unless you're actively trading. So, I mean, it's all about information. It's out there, but not everybody knows yet. Like it's out public, but it's not. So there's a window there sometimes to try to get in and get ahead of the masses. Even though the HFT is already in because it's obviously been disclosed in the 13F, there's still that window where the masses don't know yet. And when the masses come in, the retail masses and everything else is going to get another pop. Obviously went over 380. It's come all the way back down here now. So yeah, that ship has sailed. This opportunity is gone.
I will. I haven't made a proclamation in a while about walking downtown on my hands on the Lodge Freeway.
Oh gosh, this is scary. What are you going to do?
Pre-market high 383.20. I don't think you see that. 383.20. I don't think you see that today. If
I don't
we
think
do,
so either. He's going to walk down the Lodge
on my hands to the office.
No, I don't think you do either. I don't think you're going to see that either.
Yeah, I don't even know. And then if
you came close to walking down your hands on the Lodge to the office, you came close the other day. What stock was that? I don't remember. That was not the other day. That was like 3 months ago.
It was. Oh, I know what it was.
It came close, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared." It was Novavax.
Yeah,
we were like talking.
Yeah, it was actually.
Where is Novavax now?
It was actually. I said it. I think it was on this day or this day. I think it was 50. Maybe when the news came up. I think when the news really came up, it traded up like to 15 or something like that. But no, anyways, that's revisionist history. But Novavax came down, tested that low. Man, we haven't talked about that stock in a while. But where were we? Oh, we were doing Ulta. Ulta. Yeah. I mean, this no man's land. This is a curveball. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I agree. You can't do it now.
The actual stake was 690,000 shares worth about 266 million from Berkshire. Someone in the chat was talking about so Warren is all scared and selling Apple, but then he buys a beauty company. I don't necessarily think Warren was selling. I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I don't think Warren was selling Apple because he's worried about, some huge recession coming to hit and all the stocks are going to go down, this and that. I think he just made a lot of money on Apple, and he was had so much of it that it was kind of looking as like a cash holding. And he's like, hey, we can sell some of this, deploy the capital, buy some names that are beaten down, and go other places with it. So I never really, as an Apple holder, I never really took Warren's sell as like a sign that, oh my God, I need to sell all my Apple stock. I kept holding it. And obviously that Monday it dipped a lot and then came right back. So I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think?
I firmly believe he listens to PreMarket Prep because we've been talking about valuation. Warren Buffett is a value type of guy, which is going to bring us to Snowflake here in a second. But Warren Buffett is a value type of guy. Apple's PE currently is one of the highest it's been in the history of the company. The valuation has just been fully valued.
Hey, Dennis, I got to interrupt you. 1 minute, Dennis.
I'm going to go wide. I'll do my rant. The PE on Apple is 33. Forward 30. So 30 on the forward, 33 on the current. I bought this thing when it had a PE of 13 because I thought
you're going to get picked off here.
I'm going to cancel. Don't worry. I'm going to cancel unless my internet goes down right at the moment. Okay. Cancel all orders for you. Gone. Canceled all orders. Now I can continue my rant. But I've given this rant before. It's why I sold my Apple as well. And I sold it a long time ago. I sold it at $185. I had it from $25 to $185. It was for 7 years, I think I owned Apple. Fully valued. I'm like, it's 27 times earnings now. I don't think it's more. Now it's 33 times earnings. So it's continued. But he's selling this simply because the valuation is full. Apple is a cash cow that's not growing, trading 33 times earnings until they can figure AI out. It's not a growth play. and it's not a value play. So I would sell my Apple too.
Pop goes the weasel. We must get some good numbers here.
They just pop no matter what now, Joel.
Yeah,
this is where we're at.
5,500. Here we come.
Initial
5505, 5507. Go ahead.
Initial jobless claims came in at 227,000. That was lighter than the 236,000 estimate. Core retail sales month over month for July came in at 0.4% versus 0.1% estimated. So you had less jobless claims. You had more retail sales than expected. So I guess the economy in the United States isn't in a recession after all, at least according to this data we got this morning, of course. U.S. retail sales month over month went up a full percentage point versus the 0.4% estimated. So some hot numbers this morning, and we're back in good news. Good news is good news. It's good news. Good news.
I'm dumping on my IWM at 210 right now. I just did it.
Okay. All right. Wow.
I just did it. That's a big pop.
That's a big
pop.
That
feels like it's overdone though. 210 was where we went to yesterday, so I think you're running a resistance there. I just dumped some 210 right now as we speak.
Wow. I mean, so good numbers are good numbers, but that doesn't mean that they're not gonna. Oh, interest rates. What's that mean about the half point cut and the full point cut in the emergency Fed meeting? Cut. TLT. Wah.
I gotta go. It's too wild. I'll be.
Bye, Dennis. All right.
I told him for 5 minutes, and then he finally listens. If we were in the office right now, I would pull him in the back room and have a little talk with him and say, you got to listen more. We got a big pop up there, 55, 10, 75. Just going to the S&P chart, there's just not much in here because we're working on this big bar here, and I'll give you your next daily high for you mega bulls out there. 5,600.75. That was a daily high on August 1st. What was the intraday high on that day? Intraday high too, 5,600. So boom, there you go. 832.
Well,
you want to go down? You got some more? Go ahead, give us some color there.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, we're now looking back here. If I pull up, like a 2-hour chart here, we're now basically have completely erased all the losses from that, terrible Monday we had a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
the market has just been so resilient here. I mean, if you've been a big bear, you had a couple weeks there where, the market traded down. You, of course, had the big volatile day. But since then, I mean, the market has just ticked higher. It's really been all systems go from that. So yen carry trade, Joel, officially over.
Oh my God, that was over the day it started. I mean, look at this. Where is the yen? Yeah. Oh yeah, yen buckling a little bit. Losing 68 there. So yeah, all's good. I mean, FXJ is a ETF that I think it is. No, FXY. I always get that mixed up. There's your ETF. So all good. I mean, here we are back over 5,500. The TLT just not liking it. This implications for the cut. This does. You know what? Let's bring Ivan on and see what he thinks about these numbers and what he's been looking at.
Let's go ahead and bring on Ivan Feinseth from Tigress Financial. Without further ado, let's give Ivan our very special pre-market prep. Welcome.
Good morning, Ivan. How you doing today?
I am good. Good to see you guys. How are you doing?
Good. So, boy, it's been like a month or two since we had John. We had the dip. We got the rip here. Just give us your overall outlook here after just we are almost 400 handles above that low on the yen carry trade Monday. Give us your overall market outlook.
Well, we've seen that movie before. Sadly, you get this over-concentration by hedge funds into this trend investment. And when it unwinds, they all head for the door at the same time. And a few get caught without a chair when the music stops. But there's a few days of disruption. And we've seen consistently that the buy the dip penny sell-off continues to work. So that will be the reaction to any sell-off until it no longer works. And there's a lot of sideline cash. We are in a raging bull market. The Fed is getting ready to cut. So, this old saying, don't fight the Fed. Oh, well, if you fought the Fed, maybe we really didn't even fight the Fed. Maybe secretly Powell has been on the side of the bulls all along, cautiously, getting ready to cut rates. But rates are coming. I mean,
what about these numbers? What about these numbers? These numbers are kind of perky here. Does that take anything off or is it all about the jobs number and the inflation?
If you really want to be preemptive, I mean, you want to act before something bad happens. So he got criticized for being a little too slow in raising rates from the belief that inflation was going to be transitory, and it wasn't. And now he's getting a lot of criticism that he could be behind the curve. But unemployment has been rising. It's up from a low of 3.5% to now 4.3%. So that's a big move. And now inflation is under control. It continues to trend toward the Fed's 2% target. He said many times he doesn't have to get to 2% before they cut, but as long as the Fed is comfortable that it's moving toward that direction, then he will start to cut. So now the Fed is shifting from the focus on inflation and obsessing over inflation to trying to fend off any significant weakness in the labor market and engineer a soft landing.
What about rotation here? We had the meltdown, obviously, in some of the big cap tech here. IWM continues to be a roller coaster here. Do you just stick with what got you here, or is that catch-up trade that people have been talking for decades, is it finally going to come to fruition?
Look, tech drives society forward, and it's going to continue to drive the market forward. And it's good to see that it's broadening out, because the criticism of the bull run for the last couple years has been, unless you were in the Magnificent Seven, you didn't really beat the market. Or unless you owned a handful of stocks, you missed out. Well, now it's broadening out. And, nothing stopped anybody from owning those handful of stocks that have been leading the market higher and will continue, like Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, Apple. And then they criticized Apple. It made a new 52-week low a few months ago, and then a new 52-week high. When they started to talk about AI, this AI investment theme is a powerful investment theme. It's going to take many years to build and play out. So it's not a 1 day or 1 month or even a few month phenomenon. It's a powerful investing trend, and every company is going to be spending money on implementing AI in somehow optimizing their business, whether it's improving their supply chain, increased customer interaction, marketing, targeting the best potential customers, and using these social media platforms to do that. So it's not going away. It's going only to continue.
Ivan, you mentioned that there's cash on the sideline. I've got a couple questions about that. A, where do you view that data and how do you see that? And then B, who's waiting at this point? We've been in a bull market now. It feels like for the last 2 years since that dip in 2022. Who's waiting with this money on the sideline and not putting it in action?
The skeptics, the fear but there's $6 trillion in excess cash. We know that there's also hundreds of billions of dollars on corporate balance sheets to be deployed in further share repurchases, dividend payments, M&A activity. Because of the fear that the FTC, because the head of the FTC, Alina Khan, has never seen a deal she didn't hate. So should we see a change in Washington at the end of this year, then obviously she'll be replaced with somebody, I think, who's more business friendly, and you will see M&A activity pick up, and that's also positive. So, companies, when they can earn an increasing incremental return with every dollar of retained earnings, you continue to invest in the company, in growing the business, building factories, hiring people, etc. When no longer you can, you start to return. You look for M&A activities, and when you don't see anything on that horizon, then you begin to return cash to shareholders. And there's a lot of excess cash on corporate balance sheets. And as we get the runoff of corporate announcements, as pretty much Q2 earnings season is now mostly done. With Walmart's report today, one of the last big companies, companies are starting to buy back stock again. And with each quarter for the past year or longer, we have seen with every company announcing earnings, they continue to increase their dividends and announce new greater share repurchase authorizations. So this money flow is going to continue into stocks.
So you mentioned that the AI theme, it's going to take, some time to play out. It's not, an immediate impact on a lot of these companies that are right now spending money in AI. What stocks or sectors are you looking at and like that you think will benefit from these themes in the market over the next, say year or so, 6 to 12 months?
No, it is being played out. Companies are investing. I'm saying the results from it may take,
right.
Start to see later on. But obviously, the service providers, the cloud service providers like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, the companies that also enable businesses to use AI like Meta platforms, and most importantly, the enterprise software companies like MongoDB, Monday.com, which had an incredible quarter on Monday. They do like to report their results on Monday. And other companies like Oracle, Palantir, C3 AI, they're starting to catch up. All of a sudden, the Palantir is getting some focus. So there's a lot of great names, and it's a broad group of companies that participate. It extends to power generation, some of the multiple power generation companies.
Give us a few of those.
I don't really follow them that closely, but also an interesting company that's a small company at around $7 a share is Oklo, and how this all ties in. Oklo is a small fusion reactor company, and it's actually the chairman of that company.
OKLO.
OKLO. The chairman is Sam Altman.
There you go. He knows a thing or two about AI.
He knows about AI, and he knows about the need for power for AI and for data centers. And in fact, in Georgia, they just announced the opening of the first new power. This is not an Oklo power plant, but this is another company that Southern company that's built it in Georgia. But this is the first new nuclear reactor power plant in 30 years. So sadly, we've been behind the curve. There's been a lot of issues, regulatory issues, but the world is warming up to nuclear power, and it is a clean, renewable energy. Even the environmental groups are also beginning to warm up to nuclear power. So reducing also our need for foreign oil and the use of fossil fuel. So this is another big trend, but it's power, it's land. And it's also software, it's hardware, and then obviously NVIDIA is in the center of all this and will continue to be as well.
Ivan, you made that statement about the politics potential. Do you think that it really doesn't make any difference to this market? Who's in the market just goes up. It goes up no matter what.
Well, yes, because people always ask me, what happens if Trump wins? What happens if Harris wins? And I said, well, here's how it works. No matter who wins on November 5th, on November 6th, when Tim Cook wakes up, he's only going to think about one thing, is how to sell more iPhones. Same thing, when Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, wakes up on Wednesday morning, November 6th, she's only going to think about one thing, how to sell more cars, no matter who's it. So that's really the focus. There are some administrations that are more business friendly, which I believe that the Trump administration was and will be. And
what don't you like, Ivan? What don't you like? Like, what do you like? Woo! Stay away from that. Give me three stocks that you hate. I want hate.
I can't because you see, I spend my time focusing on what I like, and I can give you a lot of names of companies that I like. but then I don't think about what I don't like because I'm not really focused on that. So it's hard.
Ivan's the eternal optimist, Joel. Don't try to make him passive. I love Ivan for this. He comes on, even when the times are tough. Ivan, he's always remained bullish. He's the eternal optimist. I love him for that.
Even through when I've been on your show, the market's gone through some difficult times. I mean, my year-end price target of the S&P 500 is over 6,000. We had a run up over 56, and a lot of firms, a lot of the big brokerage firms started to raise their target. But stocks will continue to go up, and it's positive. A strong stock market is positive for everybody.
Okay, I can't get him to say anything bad about this market. So we're ripping now, man. We are ripping through this 5,500 handle.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get anything bad out of Ivan here, Dennis. You have anything we want to throw at him?
Just keep, obviously, we've got a lot of stocks that have participated. We've had a lot of stocks that haven't participated in this rally. Just as talk overall, obviously there's been an underperformance, in the small caps. There's been an underperformance in a lot of interest rate sensitive names. Do those names start to show life here finally, because we are indeed probably going to get interest rate cuts starting in September? Would you be moving money maybe from some of the leaders to the laggards, or do you just stay in everything?
Well, I mean, I think, there's an old saying that if you have a football player on the field and he scores one touchdown after another touchdown after another touchdown, you don't pull him off the field and replace him with the player with the broken leg. I mean, the thought of buying stocks that haven't participated, by selling the ones that have led, I think you keep your leaders. As I say, you water your flowers and you pull the weeds. So you stick with what works. And
let's talk the weed of all weeds, Intel. And, me and Joel are stuck in this stock. Should we just pull this weed and throw it out and burn it? Is there a turnaround story for Intel?
I believe there is. And unfortunately, it will be a longer time than we want to coming. I really
I'll be dead by then.
The CEO, Pat Gelsinger. I think that he has undertaken a major endeavor that will just take a long time to be one of the world's leading foundries to manufacture semiconductors. But there's a lot of moving parts there. And the build out, it's dependent on government participation, on, in government investment, state investment, tax incentives. So there's a lot of moving parts. And you want to go with really what works, and the best way to play this is my other favorite semiconductor company had a great run, pulled back here is Qualcomm. I think Qualcomm will be on the mobile device with AI of what NVIDIA is in the data center, and this recent pullback in Qualcomm. So number one continues in semiconductors continues to be NVIDIA. Number two is Qualcomm. Unfortunately, I've kind of had a bench Intel for a while. It needs to, get some firm footing. It just, maybe this last sell-off was the final washout, give up sell-off, but, we have seen that a few times. But, Intel is going to take a while to turn, and investors, mostly everybody wants immediate gratification. They want to go with what's working now, and that will continue to be, even AMD, Taiwan Semiconductor, beyond NVIDIA and Qualcomm. I still also like Qorvo and Skyworks, because communication semiconductors are an important part of the connectivity and AI and edge computing infrastructure. But, you go with what works, and Intel, sadly, is going to be on the bench for a while.
All right. Well, Ivan Feinseth, again from Tigress Financial. Thank you so much for joining us here on Pre-Market Prep. Always good to get your view on the markets. Help us calm us down when we're, feeling uneasy. Ivan, any final words you want to leave us with?
Just stay bullish and stay positive. And I'm looking for a strong year-end finish for stocks.
All right. Well, there you have it. All right, Ivan, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We'll call you up soon to catch up.
Thank you. Great to see you. Thanks for having me on.
All right,
Wow.
guys, we've
This
got
market is so interesting here. So let's recap those numbers here once again, because I had to leave and go trade for a bit. But we got the jobless claims coming in light, but we have retail sales coming in hot, like really good, right?
Yep. Yep. That's
What were
correct.
the numbers? Give them to us again here, AB, for those just tuning in, and for me who actually was trading the numbers and couldn't actually look at the numbers because I can't multitask.
You didn't need to look, man.
All right,
You
we'll
didn't-
start with
All right,
jobless. Jobless claims came in below the expectations at 227,000 versus 236. So you had fewer people filing, for jobless claims, unemployment. Your retail sales month over month for July went up 0.4%. The expectation was 0.1%. So people were still buying, retail goods. Month over month for July, 0.1%. Okay, so sorry, that was core retail sales was 0.4% versus 0.1%. Regular U.S. retail sales grew by a full percentage point in July. The expectation was 0.4%. So a huge beat there, more than double the expectation. So the economy was, running hot in July. And you did have some economists come out and say that the Hurricane Beryl could be, impacting the jobless claims and the labor data more than what we're used to. So either way, I think it was Jay Rice in the chat said it was kind of like a Goldilocks numbers, pretty strong but not too strong. I would agree with that. Maybe some people would say it was too strong, but either way, the Fed is, according to the Fed Watch tool, still looking. Actually, the odds since these numbers have come out, the odds have now shifted toward a 25 basis point cut, opposed to a 50 basis point cut. Yesterday, a couple days ago, we were looking at a 55% chance that we were getting a 50 basis point cut. Now we're looking at a 25% chance for a 50 basis point cut and a 75% chance for a 25 basis point cut. So odds now are that we're just getting a 1/4%, interest rate reduction in September.
So this is one, Jeremy Siegel's not going to get a 75 basis point emergency cut, or his 75 at the next meeting too. He wanted 150 here. Jeremy's definitely not going to get it after these numbers. That's a joke because we know Jeremy was a little bit excited last Monday morning. TLT, bond traders do not like this number.
Nope.
Bond traders do not like this number whatsoever. TLT has fallen off a cliff here right now, down $1.15, which is a huge move for the TLT. The reason for that is, one, the bond traders don't care as much about the economy as they do about projected interest rates. So if the interest rates are indeed only going to go down a 1/4 point, that's not good for your TLT and your bond investors. So TLT is selling off. So you get this move in the opposite direction. I would be very cautious chasing the IWM here up 2% on this number. I know people are saying, well, we want that perfect Goldilocks scenario where the economy stays strong, the small caps pick it up, but we get the lower interest rates anyways, and maybe this number gives it to us. But I think we're reaching here because when you see the TLT tanking, it doesn't make me all giddy to buy the IWM up 2% here this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know tech's strong no matter what. Tech's going to be in a bull market no matter what, it seems like. Tech stocks just get bought. So not surprising that those go up. But very surprising the strength in the IWM is so strong. I'd be fading that strength. I faded at 210, so I'm a little bit, I had a long, so I sold my long at 210. I haven't shorted yet, but I'm looking at it here thinking, man, I don't see this being that great for the IWM.
It's just it's just perfect scenario. The economy's not, looks like the economy's still rolling along, and if it's not, then the Fed has got the markets back. I mean, we just ripped up to 56.3475. We are making new. We are well above that close from last Monday here. But good. Good news is good news. Bad news is good news. This market.
That's where we're at
fear,
right now.
Yep.
The FOMO has completely taken over. The fear we had 8 trading days ago when everybody was selling everything on that Monday morning is completely vanished and gone in history. And we are now FOMO central. Money managers like, oh my gosh, I missed the best dip of the year. I didn't buy NVIDIA at 91. I better help buy it at 120. I mean, we're full on in chase mode here now.
Yeah.
Markets in chase mode here now. I am not. I'm not chasing the IWM up here at 211 here. I'm not chasing stocks here. Again, I bought a few things there on the dip. I bought Amazon. I bought Micron. I bought something else too. I don't remember what the hell else I bought. But, obviously, I wish I would have went all in. I didn't buy enough that day.
Which stock did you guys say wasn't going to hit the pre-market high? Was that Walmart?
No, I wouldn't say that about Walmart.
Which
I've been
one
wrong.
which one are you talking about?
Ulta.
Ulta 380. It hasn't even moved. I think he's safe up there.
All right,
I think he's safe up there.
We
haven't done Cisco's report here, AB.
I know.
We should do Cisco.
Yes,
the Cisco kid. We don't give it the love that it deserves here. And it's the one that really kickstarted the rally a little bit last night when I had a decent report. And I got this one wrong. I thought it could pull an Intel and, disappoint here. Not the case.
Well, you weren't alone in that, but EPS came in at 87 cents, beat the 85-cent estimate. Sales came in at 13.64 billion, beat the 13.53 billion. They gave some guidance, EPS guidance, 352 to 358. That was against a $3.70 estimate. So the guidance for EPS for the full year 2025 actually came in lighter. Revenue guidance 55 to 56.2. The estimate was 55.68. So that part of the guidance was a little bit better. But either way, the strong top line numbers driving the stock higher. You're up about 8% this morning. And yeah, the turnaround story for Cisco continues.
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say on this one. This one surprised me a lot. I think you got major resistance up here, 49 to 50. It's not the darling. It's been the dog. I mean, you can get the dogs barking. Usually there's selling opportunities, Alibaba. So I would say it's more of a selling opportunity. I did buy some puts on the report. I bought the 45
Why'd you do that?
put.
Why'd you do that? You never buy puts.
No, I kind of felt like it was $1.29. It kind of felt like I thought if they missed, it was going to fall a hell of a lot more than $1.29. I thought they were going to miss. And I think I would have been, actually, I think it was the good call. I think I picked it right because one, I didn't short the stock, which would have lost $3.58. Two, a 8% move up would indicate it probably would have had an 8% move down if it would have missed. I would have made some good money. So I took a flyer. It wasn't a hell of a lot. I wasn't a huge position. It was like, I'm going all in on puts here. I took a flyer. I thought it might pull an Intel, and I thought it could see a 40 if it disappointed. It didn't. It didn't happen. That's why sometimes you play with options, and you know what you lose.
Good job. Yeah.
$1.29.
Man, oh
$1.29
man.
poof.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to see it today because the pre-market high stands at 49.24. But long-term shareholders, I mean, these are the monthly highs. March, April, and May. February, March, April, and May. You topped out in the 50 handle. From 50.11 up to 50.61. So that is super extra major long-term resistance. I don't know if it gets there today. And this thing just it has like a crappy report and they kill it. And then this thing really moves for a $50 stock. So keep an eye on that. This is a longer term number, that 50-50, super extra major resistance.
All right, we got time for one more. Let's go to John Deere, ticker DE. Reported earnings. Was it this morning? Yeah, it was this morning. EPS came in at $6.29. That beat the $5.85 estimate. Sales came in at 13.15 billion. Missed the 10.94, beat the 10.94 billion. So you have very strong top line numbers. The guidance here, let's see. I'm not seeing any specific guidance numbers, but net income outlook fiscal year 2024, 7 billion. So to me, I mean, the stock popped initially off the results pretty high, and then has since given up about $10 of those gains.
Big pop.
That's a tough earnings season. Like you've had some stocks beat and they actually go down on the beats. You have some stocks miss, they turn around and they buy them anyways. I mean, it's the random walk earnings season. It's been hard to really get a feel for where the economy really is. Like, I mean, the earnings season is basically over. And I don't know if I have any more clarity on where we really stand from an economic perspective. I don't know if I have more clarity. It's been mixed. The earnings were very mixed. You have some stocks just getting whacked Wayfair saying it's the worst we've seen since the great financial crisis. And, you have other stocks saying, no, it's good. And then you get Deere that's still doing well, which is big farm equipment. So people are still buying that kind of stuff. But then, you get other companies that are big equipment not doing well. And so it's been a very weird and hard to get a feel. So at the end of this earnings season, I sit here and I think I'm more confused than when it started.
You got a nice pop in Deere, but it faded. I mean, people going long into the report, they said cha-ching here, pre-market high 369. That's $9 away. That's a long ways to go. Not much in the daily charts to give you any kind of, I guess you got to do a reset here at 360. I blew through it in the pre-market, but 360.39, your August 2nd high. You get through that, boom, you got nothing between 360 and 370 as evidenced here by the, was that this morning? Yeah, by the pre-market action here. Still not, had a rebound off that Monday low, but not nearly as much as the market.
All right, well, that's 9 a.m. Time for us to wrap up on pre-market prep. Thank you to everyone who tuned in with us today. We will have live trading starting up right after this. Joel, who do we got coming on with us on a Friday tomorrow?
Okay, so I'll give you a hint. You're getting pretty good at this. It's Aspen Expiration Friday.
CC Legator.
You got it.
Boom.
That's 2 in a row.
We love CC Legator. He rocks. I mean, everything. I learned so much from that guy, because obviously I'm not an options trader, but the options apply to the stocks too. Like knowing optionality can, impact where stocks go. The expected moves and everything he does. He charts it so well. We love CC Legator. Tune in for that one tomorrow.
All right, guys. Thank you again to everyone who tuned in. We will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, 8 a.m. You know where to be. We will see you on Pre-Market Prep.